Hey guys, so today we're going to talk all about rope climbs. We're going to go through all of the steps and stages and how you can work toward your ability level, work on improving them, maybe make things harder, and things to work on if it's a goal to get better at rope climbs. So we're going to start with some early rope climb stages. The very first one we're going to have Eric here do is one that maybe you've done or you've seen in class, where we work on just lowering to laying on the ground and then standing back up. So he's going to hold onto the rope, and he's gonna really work on using his upper body and walk his hands down. One, keeping a little bit of little steps, elbows stay bent. He's gonna go down and then come right back up, staying nice and controlled through his midsection, really trying to use his arms. And of course, with this one, you can use your legs to push a little bit if you need some help, but this is a really nice one to use if really you don't have that grip strength, you don't have the upper body strength, and you're a little bit nervous about hanging on the rope. The second one that we'll do is we'll come over here, and this is gonna be a seated rope climb. Everyone might not have this as an option if you're not here. We usually set them up when we do rope climbs, but it's just kind of like a little pulley system where he's gonna sit on the ground, and he has a kettlebell on here, and he's gonna work that hand over hand, super focused on the upper body strength, a nice long pull, pulling that elbow by his side. And then he's gonna work on lowering, same thing, nice and controlled, hand over hand. Maybe even more important to go controlled on this part when it's that nice eccentric lower. The great part about the seated one is that anyone could do it. So you could be a fantastic rope climber and just wanna work more upper body strength. And this is a nice way to just keep adding weight to it to make it more difficult. Also, I'll tell you that this is a great one to do if you're coming back from injuries, because you're completely in control of all of it. It's not your body weight hanging on everything. We could put 5 pounds on here and work that pulling. So this is a really nice one, and I would even challenge you, if you think you're really good at rope climbs, to add this one in every once in a while, just to work on that good strict strength. So after we feel like we have enough upper body strength to at least start working on a foothold, this is a great way to start it. We don't have to worry about hanging onto the rope then, which is a little bit harder on our grip, and we might not be as confident to do that. So what we can do is we can come and hang onto a bar with a rope attached to it. Eric's gonna hang, don't go yet, hang all the way down. He's gonna cross his favorite foot in front so that he can practice that foothold. And we'll show you that close up also. But what he's gonna do is hang down. He's gonna get one foot on either side of the rope. Is that how you do your foothold? There you go. And then he's gonna clamp his feet and do a pull up and keep his feet pinched and then back down. Let's do a few pull-ups like that, trying not to let your feet slide. So your goal is to keep this pinched the whole time. Do a pull-up, good, come back down, keep your feet pinched, do a pull-up, great, and come back down. So that's a really nice way you can relax your feet. 2, go ahead and think about pulling, but you're on a bar where you're a little bit more confident. You don't have to worry about the grip on the rope. You're really just focused on getting those feet nice and stuck on the rope. So here's a close-up of that pinch. So you have the rope coming through and around and over top, and he's really pinching here so that he can stand up and his feet don't slide. A really common mistake that happens, and you can even see it happening a little bit here, is this top foot is wanting to turn out, and if it spins out, then the rope's gonna come apart. So you really wanna work on keeping that foot angled in a little bit so it can pinch just like this. So now we understand the foothold a little bit from hanging on the bar. The next step is gonna be to hold onto the rope. And you just wanna be somewhere where you feel nice and safe and comfortable doing it. You don't even have to work on climbing all the way up, but we're gonna have Eric show us one. He's gonna do the exact same foothold. Now he's just holding onto the rope a little bit. Good, so good pinch. He's gonna work on climbing. He's gonna take a step, and then he's gonna keep re-engaging that nice foothold so that he can go up. Good, maybe one more pull up. Nice, and then come down however you'd like. Perfect, that's a good starter rope climb. It was 3 pulls. He didn't even care about how high he got. He wasn't trying to get to 12 feet or 15 feet or 20 feet. He was just like, I'm gonna do 3 good pulls and I'm gonna come down. So even if you move this much on each pull, you're gaining some confidence in holding onto the rope and doing your foothold. We got all of our little baby rope climb pulls in where we moved just a little bit to get our confidence, and now we feel like we're getting stronger. We wanna become more efficient at rope climbs. So that's when you wanna say, I wanna get to a certain height, I wanna do it in 1.5 or 2 pulls, because the less number of pulls you have to get to a certain height, the more energy you're saving. So we always wanna work toward the most efficient movement possible. So one thing I'm gonna show you as a drill for that, maybe you're not ready to do giant pulls, you could work on hanging with straight arms, and just doing like you're trying to bring your hands or your feet up to your hands as high as you can, like a toes to rope almost, and then back down. Good, so he's just lifting. He's working on engaging his lats, he's using his core, he's using his abs to really pull those feet all the way up He can still have the rope around his feet, like his foothold, but he doesn't have to pinch and come back down. Very good. Now, once he feels like he can do that, and that can be an exercise in itself, you could do a certain number of those, his next step would be trying to clamp his feet, use his legs to stand, and walk his hands up. So let's see if he can get up to the top of that rope in 2 pulls or less with no jump. So good, pinch, pinch, pinch. He's gonna walk up, he's gonna do the same thing, lay back, straight arms, walk, walk, walk. Super efficient, right? So that looked great. His feet were still, did your feet feel solid in the rope?
Awesome.
Right, did you feel like your legs were working some? 100%. And that's really what we want is, yes, your grip will get tired, your biceps will get a little tired, but it shouldn't be only an upper body movement if we have a great foothold. Also, that efficiency of pulling his feet up really high is gonna help because he's not gonna have to keep pulling a whole bunch of times for all of those teeny little footholds. So that was perfect. All right, guys, so we have that perfectly efficient rope climb where we're using our good foothold, we have good upper body strength, we're ready to progress to legless rope climbs, but we aren't able to quite do it. So how we're gonna get stronger at that is Eric's gonna climb, he'll do a couple pulls, almost to the top. He's just gonna work on coming down, no legs now. So he's gonna hold him out the best he can. He's gonna work on keeping that elbow a little bit bent. So one thing we don't really wanna do is just fall to that all the way, that straight arm, because then we're not controlling it. We're not really gaining that eccentric strength that we want so that we can do a legless rope climb. So I would tell people, if you wanna get better at this, you're not strong enough to really do it, climb a little ways up and then work on lowering, maybe even lower all the way to your butt with those teeny little steps down to gain the strength. And once you feel more confident with that, now we can try our legless rope climb. Let's see what Eric's gonna do. Good, pull, 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 good. He's using his legs to help a little, which is totally fine. You can go ahead and come down. You don't have to do the whole one. And you can see on the way down, he likes to rehook his feet. So there are a couple ways, and we can talk about descending, and that's one way. But for that legless, there's a couple options. You see people doing the big kipping legless rope climb. I always say that that should be done out of necessity, not how you should learn a legless rope climb. We should be strong enough to do those little pulls just like Eric did. And I've made him do a lot of rope climbs today, so that was probably harder than he wanted it to be for video. But you want to be able to just do, for this legless, little steps here where you're staying fairly engaged, working on making them as big as you can, but never fully straightening your arm. You see a lot of people, when they do their legless, getting into that straight arm and they're kipping just like they would a toes to bar. You don't really want to do that from the very beginning because it's not efficient. You want to be able to do that if you need to finish a rope climb that way. So last little comment about descending. You saw what Eric did. He likes to have his foothold, spread it apart, lay back, and then use that foothold as like a brake and walk his hands down. So let's just couple little step and just come down in little steps. We'll watch this descent. Good, so go ahead and go from right there. Yep, hand, 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 okay? So he's walking. At the very bottom, he was close, so he just slid. But a lot of people use a lot of energy on the way down, which is fine if that's what makes you feel safe, but you wanna get more efficient at it. Once you're doing legless and things like that and you feel really good about it, we won't make Eric do this one, I won't make him climb again. You can be up at the top and you can work on pinching your thighs together. So important to maybe be wearing tights or pants because it can tear up your thighs. And you can get a little bit of a release and just re-catch with your hands, but don't try that until you're super confident with rope climbs. So I think that gives us a full recap of beginning rope climbs, scales you can use, ways you can get stronger, all the way to legless. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of things to try, things to work, and goals to set. If you have any comments or questions, let us know. Have a great day.